Welcome back, guys. It's getting to be that time of year. It's spring now. We've had a few warm days. It's almost summer, so perfect time for a beach run. I'm on the mid-north coast, up around the sort of Port Macquarie area. I started down Harrington Way last night and I've wound my way up, camped at Kylie's beach last night, and the plan is to head as far north as we can on the beaches up to probably around the Southwest Rocks area. There's probably a dozen different beaches you can drive between there and Southwest Rocks. And yeah, going to try and drive all of them and stay off the tar as far as possible. Going to do a bit of fishing and a bit of camping and all that as well.
Summer's day in Shepherdstown, an eagle in a thermal is a circling round like a tire on a bike rolling down Columbus Street.
Heading north from Harrington, you'll pass over Crowdy Head and continue up Kylie's Beach, up to Kylie's Beach campground. At the back of the campground there's a short walk out to a spot called Kylie's Hut, which was originally a writer's retreat for an award-winning novelist named Kylie Tennant. The original hut burnt down in the 2019-20 fires. The footings are still there, but nothing else. And what you'll see today is the hut that was rebuilt in 2021.
Take time, do what you're gonna do, just smile, you're gonna see it through your wings, are gonna sprout and you will learn to fly.
Just camped up at the National Park ground at Kylie's Beach. It's busy. Diamond Head up the road is the sort of more formal camp. It's got designated sites, whereas this is just pick your own. But both of that's chockers, but this is still quite busy. But I'm still gonna have to pick myself a nice little hidey hole in the bush here. Had a little arvo down the beach this afternoon, and I'll probably head back down in the morning. Hopefully the wind drops and we'll have a fish. This campground here, you're not allowed fires on the ground, so they make you hire one of these braziers. It's $10.50. You can hire them from either here or Diamond Head up the road, but it's fine. At least they let you have a fire. It's better than not having one, obviously.
Now it's me alone. It's just an empty hole that's on an empty street, in a town that always sleeps, and a blind man in the darkness knows the difference.
Well, that's why they call it fishing, not catching. I think it's a bit just too blown out here, too exposed. I'm gonna keep heading north, try and find a more protected little pocket, possibly something northeast facing, out of this southerly wind. Driving back up Kylie's Beach after an unsuccessful fish, I came across these guys most of the way through a recovery. They did a pretty good job, and got this vehicle out easy enough on their way. Oh, don't run over.
I got a photograph beneath a sheet of glass inside a shade. It's just a memory, a spot in history. It is no good to me. I'm living here and now. Oh, I tried to make my peace with all the silence.
So I've pulled up at the next beach access point, which is Middle Rock Road, to get onto Middle Rock Beach and Rainbow Beach. And there's a southeast wind blowing. It's a bit shitty. It's very exposed down here, so I think I might skip this one and head up north and try and get something a bit more protected. We're about 2 hours out from high tide as well, so the beach is slowly disappearing. So I think it's about lunchtime. It's just after 12, I think. So it might be a good time to pull up somewhere sheltered, grab a bite to eat, and then continue heading north. I'll probably head up to Lighthouse Beach, although it faces the same way, so it's probably a bit blown out as well. But if not, then I'll jump on the ferry and head over to Northshore and start exploring up towards Point Plummer and that sort of area. I'm just perched up for lunch on the side of Lake Cat-Eye, which is sort of north of Laurelton, North Haven. Nice little spot out of the wind here, because the southeast facing beaches are really getting blown away at the moment. So and the tide's coming up, so it's just nice to chill out, relax, don't have to worry about the tide or the wind. So I'll chill out here for a bit and then continue to head north, possibly up Lighthouse or maybe across the ferry and up Northshore. The national parks campgrounds up this stretch of coast are pretty well set up, but they do get very, very busy. And the downside is you have to book ahead. So I don't even know where I'm going to hang out tonight. I got to Kylie's beach last night, or I booked about an hour out from arriving at Kylie's beach last night. The caretaker had no record of my booking because she had a printout. So she just had to, I had a screenshot, but she just had to take my word for it. I don't know where I'm going to go tonight. I've got to book somewhere, so while I'm sitting here I've got some reception so I can have a little hunt around and maybe see where I want to camp tonight. But yeah, the whole national parks booking thing is a pain in the ass, to be honest, as is their drone thing. I asked them for permission to fly my drone in Hat Head National Park, which is further up north. Just wanted to get some beach driving shots. Said I won't do it near other people, I'll stay away from lighthouses and other features, just to straight out get some driving footage down the beach is all I wanted. And I got a flat out nope, not allowed. It annoys other people, blah blah blah. And I'm like, well yeah, I've already said I won't do it near other people. It's no good for shorebirds and their nesting sites, all that. So yeah, anyway, hassle. Point is, if you try and do the right thing and ask the question, you're probably going to get told no. The point of all the national park stuff is that you have to be very specific about where you're going to fly your drone up here. There are several beaches that are national park, there are some that are half national park, half not, and there are some that are not national park entirely. So you need to be careful, you need to know exactly where your boundaries are, and know where you can and can't fly, because as I said, national parks say no for the sake of saying no. Anyway, it is what it is. So after leaving lunch at Lake Cat Eye up there, I've headed further north up to the access point for Rainbow Beach, and unfortunately it looks like high tide's going to stop this one because there's no beach. So what that means is next beach is other side of the ferry, so drive up through Port Macquarie now and then across the ferry and up on Northshore, see if there's a beach there, but if not, we'll yeah, go find somewhere to camp. Thank you. Driving along Northshore Beach, there is an access track behind the beach, behind the dunes, that takes you all the way up to Point Plummer rather than driving on the beach. I guess you would do that if it's very high tide and there's no beach to drive on or something like that, but it's a rough, it's sandy in spots, it's slow, it's a shit track. Like, if the beach has got somewhere to drive the beach every time. It's such a more comfortable drive, it's quicker, yeah, every time. Let your tyres down and just obviously enjoy the beach. It's far better than the crappy track at the back. To drive these beaches up here, you do need a permit. You go on council's website, there's a link to an app, you download the app. It's basically a parking app, so you're paying for parking, which is really weird, but it's $30 for 30 days, or I think $70 for an annual permit. And really well done to the three councils I'm about to mention, because Port Macquarie, Nambucca and Kempsey Shire have all got together, and it's one permit for all three council areas. So that gives you a huge stretch of coast from basically not far north of Taree all the way up to Nambucca, which is a massive stretch of coast for one permit. So it's good value. $30 for a month, or 70 for a year if you're going to come back a lot is probably worth it. But do the right thing. Don't drive on dunes. Don't camp where it says no camping. All that sort of stuff. And hopefully we'll keep having this access that we've got now to all these absolutely beautiful beaches. Just pulled up at this little car park, a spot called Big Hill. There's a little walking track through here. There's been heaps of cars drive past just since I got here, but there's this nothing little walking track, but it leads out to a private little beach. So I'm gonna go for a quick wander and possibly scope out somewhere to come back for sunrise, but for now just go for a nice little wander down to a private beach. There's chockers down here. Point Plumber is full, Delicate Campground is full, so I've ended up at the private campground called Waves, which is nice enough. Nice little bushy spot, not on the beachfront, but a nice little spot. So yeah, anyway, let's check out this beach. So a couple hundred meters through sort of rainforest, I guess. Then you pop out onto this headland with expansive views over your own little private beach. Got up early this morning with grand intentions of going and catching a sunrise, but got totally greyed out. There's not a skerrick of light anywhere, just all grey sky, unfortunately. Just pulled up here at Racecourse Headland. I'm going to start heading north now, up past Crescent Head, up to Hat Head, and eventually Southwest Rocks, where I'll probably finish up this trip. I think there's only 2 more beaches to drive, but they're both very long beaches, so still got a bit to go. And hopefully I'm going to find myself, you can see how calm it is now with no wind, I'm going to find myself a nice protected little spot and get in a fish. I think low tide this morning is about 8 o'clock, so hopefully get a fish in on low tide, find a couple of gutters or something. Halfway up the beach, and there's this massive tea tree lake here. I'm not sure what it's called, but you used to be able to drive along both sides of it, but national parks have now put up bollards. Something about a frog that's endangered, fair enough. Probably also due to the fact that people were trashing it, leaving rubbish and crap as always. Anyway, this is still a nice little spot you can pull up for a swim. Just a quick little reminder around these tea tree lakes. Sort of a metre back, metre and a half from the water. It's usually nice and firm, but as you get up close, it gets very, very soft, and that's because the sand is fully saturated, so it's just basically a big water balloon. I'll show you what I mean. So this is a couple metres away. This is about a metre and a half away. You can see it's moving slightly. As we get right up to the edge, whoa, end up disappearing into that pretty quickly. You can see from that footage I just took, and this beach is just a lot more open, and it's not even 7 o'clock this morning and it's already sort of blown out, messy. It's difficult to see if there's gutters because it's just sloppy. So up ahead of me is Hat Head. So I'm going to try and swing around to the north side of Hat Head and find a sheltered spot to pull up for a fish. It's still, as I said, about an hour from the low tide, so yeah, hopefully that works out and we get a nice protected little spot. But yeah, let's see what happens. You can see that's Hat Head there behind me. You can see how much more calmer the beach is here. So this is where I'm going to pull up for a fish because absolutely mint conditions. So yeah, let's go for a fish, eh? Nah. Oh, it's fair. Yeah, right. Is that what the birds are going off at?
I would say so. 2 marks around us, so
fair enough. Old mate's just told me that there's a big red belly black down there, so might go for a look, eh? Hey, red belly. Just chilling on the sand. How cool's that? How relaxed is he? Cool little red belly just here. I'll turn around so you can see. Just here behind me on the sand. How cool. He's pretty chill. He's eyeing me off, but he's like, yeah, all good, mate. I'd say he's covered in sand, so I'd say he's probably coming out of the water. He's probably a bit cold this morning, but his tongue's flickering away there. So I thought he was dead when he first got here because he's so still, but no, he's fine. I'll get the camera and get some photos, eh? How cool are you? That was a cool little encounter. That red belly was super chill. I'd say he's been for a little swim and he was just a bit cool, very, very, very docile. But anyway, let's go for a fish now. Ye olde beach worm. So didn't get much going on with the fishing and had a dog run through my fishing line twice, so decided it was time to give it up. So I'm heading up further north now, one more beach and then we're up to Southwest Rocks and that'll do it. But yeah, just gonna cruise along these last two beaches. It's a bit over, it's a very overcast, but it's still a nice day. It's not cold or anything. So yeah, just enjoy the cruise. Just randomly driving by and saw this massive pile of shells up the hill there behind me. Straight away my first thought was Aboriginal midden, and sure enough there's a sign here saying don't drive blah blah blah, because it's a cultural site. So I had no idea this was here. Southwest Rocks is just there, like not far away at all. And there's obviously yeah, an old Aboriginal midden cultural site, whatever you want to call it, just up the hill here. So I might go for a quick sticky beat. Not allowed to take the car up, but you can walk up. So my understanding of these things is, someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but basically it's the rubbish tip dumping ground for all the Aboriginals. So they used to come up here, prepare all their food and throw their shells into one big pile. So full of pippies and all sorts of different shells here. So they would have had I don't know, I guess a camp around here somewhere, and yeah, sat here preparing their freshly caught seafood, throwing the shells into the pile and living the life. Not bad, eh? That's going to wrap this one up, guys. We've continued north up the beach. Behind me up there is Smoky Cape Lighthouse, which signifies the start of Southwest Rocks. I'm going to jump off here and start the long journey home. I hope you've enjoyed seeing some of the beautiful mid-north coast beaches. Cheers.
I got a